Hi, everyone. Welcome to my live. Hopefully you can hear me. So I'm looking down at my phone because I want to make sure that you can hear me. I'm doing something a little different today. Let me see. Okay, good. I double checked it on my phone. Audio's great. Hair's up. Beautiful earrings going on. Oh, I want to check out the chat. So we got a lot to talk about, y'all. We're talking about how to build real wealth from government contracts. So I'm going to look at my phone to check out the chats. Hey, Brian, thank you for joining. I'll have this here in case you see me move over there. Y'all, we got a lot to talk about. All my amazing GovCon winners coming live from Ventura, California. So in case you're wondering where I am, that's where I am because I have a treat coming up. Soon a video will drop with Leilani. She is an amazing woman. I have the honor and privilege of mentoring her, and you're going to learn all about her journey, how she went from hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions. That's one thing that is great about this space and when I serve as your mentor. So y'all didn't come here for all that now. You came here to learn how to build real wealth from government contracts, kind of while even working your full-time job. This is part one, because this is a conversation that we need to continue. And here's why. There's a lot of noise out there. Like for real, there's like real noise, right? There's construction, there's things in life. It could be family, it could be emails. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to deal with that. There's real noise out there, especially everyone, when it comes to federal government contracting. There's a lot of information that makes it seem that it's so easy. You're just going to find an opportunity, you're going to find somebody to do it, and bam, you don't have to do any work. You're going to have all this money. You're going to be hanging out on the beach, even when it's a rainy day like it is today, and just kick back, y'all, and relax. I'm here to tell you, I have something to share. It's a little different. I'm all about showing, teaching, coaching you how to win profitable government contracts and to build a business model. Not to just be competitive and to have a hobby. And here's why. Not too long ago, I received a DM where a woman stated that she had taken a course, she learned how to implement the kind of middleman approach. You can call it the subcontract approach. You can call it any approach that you desire, that she implemented it. And she says she won. However, she started to run into a lot of competition because there's all this noise, right? It's so easy. You just get into government. You just register on SAM. It's so easy. Well, when there's competition, it's not so easy anymore. Because can a business just survive on this one method where as soon as competition comes in, things kind of take a turn for potentially the worse, meaning not winning contracts, having lower profits, or just being very frustrated because by the time you reach out to a janitorial company for an opportunity in Keokuk, Iowa, they say, oh my gosh, you're the 7th person to call me about this. So I'm here to talk about what it really takes to build wealth. I've been awarded well over 50 million in government contracts. It's actually closer to 100 million when you go throughout all the different contract awards that my 3 different companies, 3 that is, have been awarded during the span of 15 years, y'all. I've also equally lost hundreds of millions of dollars in government contracts. But the thing is this, I've been in business for 15 years. 50% of businesses, they don't survive past 5 years. So there's something that I know. Built wealth, I made many wealthy, and I employ at this point in time over 100 people due to some recent work that we picked up in the great state of Florida, which is my home state, y'all. So we have to kind of take this step back to really understand. And before we do, I'm going to take a look to see what's going on in the comments. Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it. Somebody said in the real world, we must work, work, work. It's very true. You definitely have to work. No one's saying you shouldn't work or you can't work, but there is some work that goes into it. People like Jeff Bezos, LeBron James, Beyonce, Oprah, Madonna, they're not where they are because of some get rich quick kind of path. They are where they are because of hard work. Jennifer Lopez, she's over 50, crushing it. She could be chilling, hanging out, with her new boo. No, she's still crushing it. And so number one thing to realize is the business model is key. If you're someone who is an expert, that's how I started out. I was Dr. Parks, diversity inclusion expert. I was hired to speak. That's a little bit of money. I was hired to provide trainings in person, online. That's a little bit of money. These are for different federal agencies. I had one ongoing contract that paid, I think it eventually got to maybe $10,000 a month as some time went on. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing, right? But I had one main client. And I was providing this expertise. So how can a business really survive off of that? Instead, what I had created for myself was a job. That's what I created. I was constantly working, constantly on the computer, constantly making sure my client was happy. I ended up bringing on an intern, thankfully, on paid. But I had created a job. So if that one client said, great, Kizzy, thank you, Dr. Parks, no more, we don't want to do this again, then what? So then the next business model some create is they decide, well, have this expertise, I have this kind of interest, and I'm not going to be an expert. I'm going to transition more into being an entrepreneur. So they own the company. Maybe they have a partner. Who knows? It's storming outside. Just a heads up in case you hear weird sounds. Don't worry. Everything is safe over here. So they may receive, let's say, a contract for janitorial work, maybe a contract for training, maybe a contract to clean some floors. So now they are the owner and they have different people, whether they're employees or contractors, doing the work, but this work is maybe short term. It's cleaning once a week, every Thursday for a year, maybe. Maybe it's 4 trainings a year. Potentially it's one floor effort and that's it. So while somebody owns the company and has people underneath doing the thing, where's the ongoing revenue? Where's that Amazon Prime money? One thing that's beautiful about Amazon Prime is every single month, Amazon has money coming in because of their Prime membership. The second model I just described, that's not the case. You own the company, you have people doing things for you, but what happens after the gigs are finished? So then you're going to have 50, maybe 150, 200 different contracts so that you have ongoing revenues coming on and going on, so that once that flooring effort's completed, now you have other flooring efforts to kind of take the place with this second model. This is the exhausted model, y'all. That's what this model is, because you're exhausted. You may have some nice things. You may be able to brag and say, oh, I have, millions of dollars in government contracts, because you have to have millions of dollars in government contracts. Because if you don't have new business coming in, how are you going to pay your bills? It's exhausting. How do I know? Because it's what I used to do when I first started out. As I started to grow, I brought on someone else to handle training. At one point in time, we facilitated 60 trainings in 1 month, which was a lot, going from maybe 1 or 2 to 60 a month, but they were one and dones. It was exhausting. I wasn't happy. I wasn't fresh and had a nice poppin' bun today and my cute earrings. I didn't have any of these things. I was exhausted and I didn't have wealth. The key with wealth is taking your revenue and investing it into things that provide passive income. That's the number one key to wealth. So how can one person obtain wealth if they don't have any revenues coming in to be able to even invest, be it real estate, index funds, crypto, other businesses? There's really not much you can do. So I'm going to give you one of my favorite business models. I'm going to kind of give you a teaser for it, because I got to cut away here in a second. My amazing team is here. They're coming into the room. And so we got to go on and do some other things, because that's the life. That's the life of when you create an organization where you're building wealth. Your time is precious. So here's kind of the sneak peek, because remember, this is part 1. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow. I'm going to check the comments before I give you all this. Okay, I would rather put in 12 hours to make my business grow instead of somebody else's. Thank you, Denise. I agree with you. And what I'm talking about, and what I'm going to talk about as I kind of conclude this and I go to part 2, you can do all of this while you're working. So at night, potentially between 8 and midnight, you can work on figuring out how you can get to this next model. This next model of wealth is being in a position where you have ongoing revenues coming in every month and you have multi-year contracts. So then that way, you're not in a situation where you're an expert, and if they decide, hey, we no longer need your project management skills, you don't have any clients, or the exhausted method and model where you have these people doing work for you, but you need so many different contracts or else you're not going to have any money coming in. With the third method, this wealth method, you don't have that. You don't have the exhaustion. You're not in the business and trying to grow the business. Instead, you have team members there who are able to actually execute on your behalf because you have dependable, reliable revenues. So I'm going to share more in part 2. Until then, thank y'all for joining. Thank you all for your amazing comments. Please comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. Go to, if you haven't already, check out govconwinners.com to sign up. I'm going to have actually a special webinar that I'm going to release very, very soon. And so all of you who are on the GovCon Winners distribution list, you're going to be some of the first to be invited. And if you haven't gone to profitablecontracts.co, check it out. There's a really cool download there for you, especially all of you who are watching. And as always, y'all, especially if you're new here on my GovCon Winners, Don't forget, every single thing is possible. Okay, until next time, take care. I'm going to hit this off now. Bye, y'all.